Focus. Ideate. Innovate. Enable.
Hello and welcome to Passion to Win, a series celebrating the winners of the EOY Entrepreneur of the Year 2015 Awards. I'm Shireen Bhan. On this week's episode, we feature 3 entrepreneurial giants who've put India on the global network through their ventures and paved the way through some robust times. Our first feature is about 2 childhood friends who dared to set up an Indian FMCG company in a market that was dominated by international giants. From personally selling cosmetics shop to shop to establishing a 10,000 crore rupee enterprise, this duo has come a long way. Let's take a look at the journey of R.S. Agarwal and R.S. Goenka, the founders of the Imami Group.
R.S. Agarwal and R.S. Goenka were firm friends in school who decided to get into business together for a rather unusual reason, an opportunity to keep meeting each other.
We started with a capital of only 20,000 rupees. We and Goenkaji were close friends in our school. Since, what you say, these are pen friends, and we were friends. And then we will meet in our shop in the evening, even when we were doing our college, even when we were in our schools. So after we had completed our college, the question was more of meeting and less of business.
Then the idea came that why not to start a business so that through that business association we will be able to meet regularly. That's how the idea of starting business started.
Since we used to sit in our shop where cosmetics, toiletries, etc. were being sold, we thought, why not to start a cosmetic business? Because the chances of losses are minimum and they do not require huge capital. That's how we got into the business of cosmetics.
In the early 80s, however, they tasted their first real success.
The turning point started from 1974, and then in 1978 we took Imani Limited, which was a 100-year-old company at that time, but with very little resources. We took over that company, came out with the brand Boroplus there, and Imani Glycerin was a leading glycerin soap in the country. Boroplus became an instant success.
At that time, Borolin was the brand leader, having more than 90% market share. And Boroplus, we thought, is a weak competitor. And our formulation of product was very good, and so the acceptance of the product was very immediate. And that's how, in 3 years' time, we could get a sizable market share.
Inspired by these successes, the 2 friends decided to diversify into other businesses as well.
Imami is a 4,000 crore company, highly diversified into paper, we are into edible oil, we are into healthcare, we have got chain of pharmacies, we are into retail, we have got ball pen tips factory, and we are going into, these are the existing lines which we have, and then we are going into cement, power, we are thinking of this hydel power as well. And we are in the process of acquiring some coal mines in Indonesia.
Today, even as the Imami Group has grown to become a more than 10,000 crore rupee enterprise, one thing has stayed unchanged: the strength of the Agarwal-Goenka partnership.
Left to me, perhaps I would have been able to manage the people and the other thing. I would not have been able to manage money. Money is not my strength, though I am a chartered accountant. Money, because I do not know how to conserve that. I know how to manage that. And we and Goenkaji that way are the perfect complement to each other. And just like these certain music director duos, Lakshmikant Pyarelal or Shankar Jayakisan, we are great duos, but with one difference only. In our case, there is no duality. It is only oneness. It is Advait. We are not 2, we are 1.
R.S. Agarwal and R.S. Goenka were awarded Entrepreneurs of the Year 2015 for the Retail and Consumer Products category.
The winners are Mr. R.S. Agarwal and Mr. R.S. Goenka of Imami.
It is time for a short break, but on the other side, Sameer Mehta of Torrent Pharma tells us how the group overcame its biggest challenge. Stay tuned. Welcome back. You're watching Passion to Win. Our next entrepreneur was a born businessman. After completing his master's degree, it was but natural that he should join his father and his brother in the family business. Sameer Mehta of Torrent Pharmaceuticals has been instrumental in establishing the business on foreign shores, which today contributes about 70% of the total revenue of the company. Let's take a look at his story.
Coming from a small town in Gujarat, Sameer Mehta completed an MBA and joined his father's pharmaceutical business in 1986.
While I was young, my father started out on his own, and so given the stress of starting out a new venture, what it involved, I ended up shifting places and schools. So that was the early phase of learning. I mean, essentially what it taught me was the values of being independent and the value of being adaptable. I think I completed my management graduation in 1986 and joined the business. So initial about a year was spent going through the shop floor management understanding. So I was placed at our plant, which was in Vatva, trying to understand how the production operation works. And after that, I think it was going through the different departments like accounting and procurement and sales marketing. I think that was the sort of early induction phase. Since then, I started taking greater interest in the business development and the marketing functions. So EOY was focused on developing the Russian business, which was our next big turning point around the mid-80s and early 90s. So obviously that while the business was growing by leaps and bounds, supporting the market development effort in terms of ensuring the deliveries was a big emphasis. So which is what I undertook as my own emphasis or focus.
However, Torrent would soon face a major challenge.
The Soviet Union, as it used to be known as then, which was the current Russia and Eastern European countries like Poland, Czech and Slovak, all that put together, it used to be managed through a centralized buying system, which used to work out of Moscow. So pharmaceutical companies which were desirous of selling their products had to go through the process of getting approvals and being shortlisted by the agencies which was dealing with the procurement. We went through that early phase of getting our plant registered and getting our products registered. And that business rapidly expanded for us. I mean, given the sort of close economic ties that India and Soviet Union had those days, and on the strength of the rupee-ruble trade agreement, that we could capitalize on that opportunity, and the Soviet Union business became much larger than our Indian business at that point of time. And probably in that phase of late 80s, early 90s, almost as much as 70% of our revenue used to come from that single market. So that was the early Russia success from a period 88, 89 till about 92, 93. Unfortunately, while the business in terms of scale really grew rapidly in that period and became very important for us, but that phase didn't last long. The Soviet Union went through a disintegration, and with that, virtually the business collapsed. I mean, the centralized buying system was abandoned, and so we had in the year 93, 94, we ended up losing almost 70% of our business overnight.
Today, Torrent Pharma has a market capitalization of approximately 22,500 crore rupees, with 70% of its business coming from the overseas market.
So Torrent Group today overall is about 18,500 crore revenue, and we employ probably a little over 20,000 people. I think half and half must be, say around 10,000 people must be employed in pharma and another 10,000 in power. Pharma business has been almost 70% of the business now comes from overseas, with US, Brazil and Germany being the key markets. We have 5 manufacturing plants in 4 different states of India, and our R&D center is near Ahmedabad, which is the backbone of all our research activities.
Sameer Mehta was awarded Entrepreneur of the Year 2015 for the category Life Sciences and Healthcare.
The winner, ladies and gentlemen, is Sameer Mehta of Torrent Pharmaceuticals.
It is time now for another short break, but on the other side we meet Ramchandra Gullah, the patriarch of the illustrious business family from Andhra Pradesh with a zeal to serve the nation. Stay tuned for more. Welcome back. You're watching Passion to Win. Our final entrepreneur on today's episode was working in the US when he found his true calling. He wanted to serve his country and therefore set up his own manufacturing unit in Chittoor, his hometown. Here's a look at the illustrious life of Ramchandra Gullah, founder of Amara Raja Batteries.
As a child, the world that Ramchandra Gullah knew was confined to the village that he was born in, until one day
I am born in a small village, in a low middle income family, agricultural family, and I started my life there. And the resources are very, very meager, opportunities are very meager. Not only me, our family, most of the people are like that. And the first venture started, get out of the village, get into the world, see how the world is, what is more than that village. And that initiative is not taken, I might have gotten stuck with somebody else in the village.
So he stepped out into the world, completed his engineering and started working in a nuclear plant in the US. Eventually, he decided to set up his own manufacturing company, Amara Raja, but in a very rural location where it would benefit his people.
If I look at our core purpose, create the opportunities for the people and transform the environment to create the opportunities for the more people all the time. That's what the philosophical approach we take it. And we focus from the beginning. It is not exactly take what you have. We focused on the transformation. Not only concept of the business we transform, we transform the technologies which have been existing wherever we have been working. We transform the products, we transform the markets, we transform the people and environment where we are living. That's where we started. And it created the opportunities also for people who wants it. That is where the next is our journey. Our intention is we started that way. And to the next journey, create the more opportunities for the people who wants it. That's where we focus on rural area. And employment, that to provide the employment, you need the skills. We check that one, how to transform them, train them and use them. And that's where the journey started from the beginning in 1985. Today, we reached the point of the company group around close to more than $1 billion and around 14,000 people. And the majority of the people are the one who started their first time in their life into this group.
From a power systems business to batteries for industrial applications, Amara Raja soon diversified into other verticals as well.
Well, I think when we started the battery business and power system, so power electronics, some of the businesses we started is supporting these things, a backward integration approach. And one is the first we started the sheet metal, because both the industrial batteries and power electronics need the sheet metal cabinets. In a place like Tirupati, you don't find the vendor who can give you good quality sheet metal work. And we can't get every time from Chennai, Bangalore, on-time delivery, good quality and price. Then we initiated some industry on ourselves to start with. Then we need the batteries need the plastic cases. We also used to depend on the outside somewhere there. We realized the quality issues, on-time delivery. Based on that one, we decided to start something in the small parts and plastics. There's another one business we started along with that one. When we first started these batteries and sheet metal in this area, it is also a rural area. Then the next time when we started the plastics and the small parts, first small parts and then plastics. Yeah, another business we put into my own village to make these small parts and the plastic. That is moved into not only our own requirement outside also. We started the fasteners to give it to the automotive component area. And we took the industries to rural villages. That is the first experiment. Going there also, we can make it successfully, the world-class product. We can make it not only for us, we'll be able to make it outside also. Similarly, another place we moved into the one, put the electronics, meant for the girls. Our intention there is to create the employment for the rural women, empowerment of the women. That's where we started. That is also great successful. It is doing very good. Then we started another the village and the food process. And because the farmers fully go into that one there, to get into the food, to put the support and help the farmers. That is my background where I started in childhood. And we started on the food process industry, Gullah Foods in that area. That's how they spread into the various, we got the Mangal industry, Amaraja Electronics, and the Amaraja infrastructure. All the factories and everything we build on our own.
Today, Amara Raja has a total turnover of more than 5,000 crore rupees and is one of the best wealth-creating companies in India. The group, which has high levels of employee engagement, has 6 different businesses, a strong force of more than 12,000 people and a large exports market globally.
We are focusing on the upgrading our technologies. Not only the product upgradation and process upgradation, continuously keep in touch with that one. That is very